See riders out on the racetrack getting ready for our first racing action for today. This is the GP 190 class. Sighting lap now underway. All the riders will make their way over to their grid positions. Mention the fact that the racetrack is different. If you were watching our coverage yesterday, we have reversed directions, Roger. What does it change?
I think just the little bit of the change is where the downhill parts of the track is going to be different for these riders. And it's going to be a little different off the start as well, as we'll see. Yesterday off the start was kind of through a chicane, but here it's a really tight hairpin left-hander from there. So it's really tight early on, and then turn 7 is a really fun corner for these kids. You got a lot of camber. And from there, the track starts going uphill, Jamie, through turn 9, a fast right-hander. Turn 11, I expect to see a lot of passing through there. And then it's going to go downhill from that point, which is going to make it tricky getting into turn 12 through 14, down into 15 and 17. Those downhills, it's hard to get the bike slowed down.
A lot of the same names that we saw yesterday leading the way are fast again today, but we heard from some of the riders that they don't like the track this way. They're a lot more comfortable after yesterday. Let's take a look at the starting grid for the GP 190 class. We mentioned the similar front row. Madi Salem, again, our pole sitter.
Yeah, great. Connor Raymond there in the front row, and Kenzie Matsadura.
Back on row number 2, you see Gabriel Datis, Seth Kimnitz, and Sawyer Lafayette. He was quick in the rain yesterday.
See Jay Steele, we talked to him there sitting in the middle of the 3rd row.
Some ground to make up right in the middle on row number 4. Got Parker Bussey, Andrew Berner, and then Blake Sorrentino rounding out our 13 riders here in the GP 190 category. Goal for a lot of these young riders, Roger, this class for riders between the ages of 11 and 14, just do better than they did on day 1.
Yeah, and just improve. And really, it's a lot about just getting the experience in these wet conditions and tricky conditions. I think that's just the big thing for, in this class, the kids are a little bit older than some of the other ones, so they might have a little wet weather experience, but they don't have a lot.
Is the warm-up lap. The race distance has been shortened for the 3rd race for each of the 6 categories.
See, yeah, crash already.
It's just to try and keep us on schedule with the slower lap times, knowing that the weather was coming through. Race officials going ahead and making that decision to shorten it. So see if everybody else can get back around. And this is the warm-up lap. So if that rider was able to pick the bike up.
I think it was Kenzie.
Was it Kenzie? Kenzie Matsadura qualified on the front row.
Crashed in qualifying as well, I've seen. So get it out of the way early.
Rain's starting to pick up now. If you're watching with us from home and you live in the Wisconsin area, you certainly are familiar with the storm that has been brewing all morning and is going to stay in the area for the next couple of hours. So a lot of these riders, whether they had a lot of experience in the rain or not, they're certainly going to get it today. So yesterday, Roger, this was a 10-lap race. Today, it's going to be 8 laps here for race number 3. We saw the battles come down really to the wire with the weather here for this race, at least. Can these riders be aggressive early?
I think you have to be patient in these conditions when it's this wet. We've seen how slick it is. A lot of the riders have talked about it being slick. Even though the race is short, you still have to be patient early on.
Riders at their grid positions. Lights are out. We are racing here. Race number 3 for the GP 190. The 3rd of 4 races to hand out number 1 plates and go for a national event. It was a great start for our pole sitter, Madi Salem.
Good start for Kenzie there in 2nd as well. Kenzie's had a couple crashes, so see what that does to his confidence.
It's a good chance to see the racetrack as well. And a problem there for, is that Connor?
Not Connor. I'm not sure exactly who it was, but it wasn't Connor. I'm trying to pick the bike up. That corner there, we've seen a couple issues in qualifying this morning.
Go up front, the rider that was down, was running in third, and that's opened up this gap for first and second.
Connor didn't get a very good start there from the front row. The bike kind of bogged a little bit, and he lost a lot of spots as he goes down into turn one.
Madi looks pretty comfortable out there right now, but I think to your point, Roger, it's all about that patience, and he doesn't have any pressure at the moment. He can certainly hear Kinsey behind him, but he's not right there on the back, on his back wheel, so he's able just to go through these opening laps and do exactly what you said, just stay patient.
And this right-hander right here was really tricky in the qualifiers this morning, giving the riders a lot of trouble. They're getting through there pretty good. See Kinsey spins it up a little bit, looks back, see he has a pretty big gap to third.
Gabriel Datis, number 37, is up into third. He qualified on the second row. You mentioned Connor Raymond not having a great start. He's back in fourth. You can see the track now, Roger, and with all of the rain, it's washed a lot of the mud that we had this morning off of it. So that's going to be helping some of these riders.
It's pretty impressive, these kids dragging their knee in the rain.
We heard them yesterday, though, getting the experience in the second races, the ones that still had a lot of rain on the racetrack, and they were getting the experience on the Dunlop rain tires for the first time and realizing you can actually push them.
You can. Just got to be a little bit smoother in the wet conditions, maybe not brake as hard or get on the throttle as hard, but you can still, the Dunlop rains, they're still really got a lot of good grip in wet conditions.
These young riders, I love the fact that they've just flipped the track layout, and they're not using a completely different configuration. A
Madi.
big moment for Madi.
Big crash out of one of those chicanes coming down the hill. If he can get back in the race, he's still going to be in second. Second just goes by.
There's third, fourth, fifth, so he has to get the bike refired, but that was a big moment. Gives the lead over now to Kinsey Matsura. See if we can get a replay as we watch to see if Madi's able to get this bike refired. Here's a look at what happened, Roger.
Just look at the rear end, how fast it started to come around, and there was nothing he could do. Madi's in a tough spot. He's in the lead. The guy out there setting the pace. It's hard to do. You don't know where the limit is.
Five laps remaining. You see the group coming up the hill. So for Kinsey now taking over the lead, he would have seen that happen right in front of him. Does he become more cautious?
I think he does. I think he's going to look back. Kinsey's got a lot of experience and a really good young rider. I think he's going to look back and see he's got a 10-second lead. Last lap, he did his best lap's a 1:03.2. Last lap, he slowed down about a half a second. So I think he'll look back and he's going to slow down a little bit, just make sure he sees that checkered flag.
There's a little bit of a gap between himself and second place of Gabriel Datis, so he doesn't have to push it quite as hard with 4 laps now remaining. Looking out the window, we can see that Madi was able to get the bike to the pits, but he is not going to be able to score any points here in race number 3.
Yeah, and you could see the disappointment on his face when he came in and just made a mistake, and sometimes you learn from those. Kinsey last lap 3 seconds slower than his best lap. So to your point, Jamie, he is definitely starting to slow down a little bit. We see a rider make a mistake out of the left-hander. Good recovery.
See the live championship points as they're running right now. So with Madi out of the mix, Kinsey Matsura taking over 68 points. But look how close it is between himself and Connor Raymond. If Connor can get through this pack and score a couple extra points, he could go into the final race of the day with leading. Yeah,
that would be huge if he could get just one more spot and try to collect a couple more points going into the next race.
Same point structure that we have in the MotoAmerica Championships, 25 points for a win, 20 points for second, and 16 points for third. So there's a big spread. Every point matters. There's a Another pass here in this battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
This is going to feel like such a long race for these young kids, even though it's only 8 laps. But in the wet conditions, your pace is a little bit slower. The concentration, we're going to see another rider on the ground up here on the right, and the red flag is going to come out.
We haven't had a red flag yet this weekend, but with the red flag now flying here for the GP 190 class. All the riders slowing. And we were 2/3 of the way complete, so that will become the checkered flag here for race number 3 of the GP 190, and Kensei Matsudaira taking the victory.
Yeah, and just a smart ride, really smart ride. Had a couple mistakes earlier today and played it cool the first couple laps and stayed in his, his limit. And once he got the lead and had a big lead, he was able to slow down a little bit and still have a 12-second victory.
Those mistakes in qualifying, you hear riders say that all the time. Well, I'd rather have problems now and not when it gets to the race. And he was able to learn from them and stay patient here in race number 3. Take a look at the full results. Kensei Matsudaira with the win. Gabriel Datas, a great ride for him. And Connor Raymond able to pick up 3rd place points.
Jay Steele, Parker Bussey, Blake Sorrentino, 6th place.
That's a good ride for Jay Steele. Remember, he started back in the middle of the 3rd row back in 8th, so he was able to make up some ground. Blake Sorrentino, a great ride for him as well, starting from the back of the grid. Able to move himself up into 6th. That'll give him some confidence going into the final race later on this afternoon. You can see the incident that brought out the red flag. Young rider is back up, so that's great to see. Take a look at the championship points after this 3rd race in the GP 190 category. Kensei Matsudaira now with 68 points, just 1 point advantage over Connor Raymond with 1 race to go this afternoon.
Jay Steele there, only 12 points back. He's still in this fight, but it's going to come down to this last race of the day, and I'm excited to see these 190 kids battle it out.
Madi Salem not able to finish the race here. Now finds himself back in 4th. Dexter Daytona Salvadoria rounding out our top 5. 14 different riders here in the GP 190 class. They'll have one more race later this afternoon at about 3 o'clock local time. Let's hear from our race winner, Kensei. Great ride out there. You're able to stay patient.
Thank you.
What were the track conditions like?
Well, turn 1 was pretty slippery. The overall track was not bad. I had some good experience from the Ovale Super Cup back in China, so I felt a little bit more comfortable in the rain. I had a little bit of a mistake on the warm-up lap. Yeah, I mean, the conditions were overall good. Just try to play a little bit safe. If I had to bring home a P2, then so be it. But I didn't want to risk crashing, bring home the points. And luckily, Madi crashed, and I was able to get up in front. So, yeah, super happy with this win.
When you had that crash on a warm-up lap, did that ding your confidence a little bit going into the race?
I kind of thought of it as kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, it made me lower my pace into turn 1 a little bit because I felt it sliding and then it kind of just went. So going into turn 1 in the race, I just felt a little bit less confident. But yeah.
One of the things that you said yesterday after winning that first race, that you decided just to stay patient. You have one more race here in the GP 190 class, and we're gonna hand out a number 1 plate. So for you, do you stay patient? Is that the strategy for race number 4, or is it time to go?
Well, I guess we'll see when the start goes down. But right now, I want to stay patient still. For sure, if there's an opportunity to go into first place, I'll definitely take it. But right now, I don't want to make any risky moves, and yeah.
Well, congratulations on the race win here for race number 3. Now just 1 point in the lead as we get ready for the final race later on this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you. So at 14 years old, Roger, Kinsey is one of the riders who could take advantage of the Talent Cup for next season.
Yeah, it would be great to see him in the Talent Cup and the way he's progressed, and just a really, really smart ride that race, stayed within his pace, didn't make any mistakes, and came out on top.
Welcome back to Briggs and Stratton Motorplex here at Road America. It is time for the final races for the MotoAmerica Mission Mini Cup National Finals. 6 different classes on the property. Here this weekend, we have already had 3 races in very changing conditions for all 6 of the classes. There's a look at the order we're going to run these final races in. Should look familiar. Starting things off with the GP 190 class, followed by Stock 110. Street GP right in the middle there with GP 160 up at about 4 o'clock local time, followed by Stock 50, and then our final race of the day, the GP 110. See riders already out on the racetrack for their siding lap for the GP 190, and one rider having a problem here on the siding lap. Looks like everyone able to get around, but it's very similar to what we've seen so far today in these challenging conditions. A look at our starting grid here. Madi Salem, our pole sitter, alongside Connor Raymond and Kensei Matsudaira there on row 1.
Row 2, we got Gabriel Dattis, Seth Chemnitz, and Sawyer Lafayette.
Going back to row number 3, Ulysses Wayrook with Jay Still and Dexter Daytona Salvaria in 9th.
And Parker Bussey, Andrew Berner rounding out the row 4.
Archer there in 12th, and then Blake Sorrentino in 13th back on row number 5. Blake was able to race his way up inside of the top 6 in the race earlier today. Looks like the rain has stopped here on the property. The racetrack's still very wet.
This can be some of the trickiest conditions whenever it's in the wet and there's no puddles. Like the track is just wet, but there's not actually enough puddles for the rain tires to do what they need to do. So this could be some of the trickiest conditions for these kids.
Everyone back to their grid positions. See the number 74 there of Kensei, having won the race earlier today. He finished 1st and 8th in the races yesterday. With another 25 points collected, he moved himself up to the lead in the championship point standings. It's a tight battle between himself and Connor Raymond. Saw in the first race today, Roger Madi Salem from the pole position had an issue, and we saw him go down. Great to see him back out there on the grid right now, getting ready for the warm-up lap. It looks like there's an issue getting the bike started. Back on the grid. Official coming over to help out. That's Dexter Daytona having that problem, the number 81. Looks like the official was able to get it under power, so now the warm-up lap can officially start. For a rider having a problem out there getting going, Roger, is it a difficult thing to overcome, or?
Yeah, it can. It's just kind of, it can get in your head a little bit, but these kids are young, but they got a little bit of experience where they can put it behind them.
See the championship point standings there on the screen under the warm-up lap. Just 1 point separating Kensei and Connor. We have Jay Still sitting in 3rd, 12 points back, and then Madi Salem not able to collect any points in race 3, has fallen back in to the 4th position. This is the first class that we are going to have a champion in. The first one to wrap up all 4 races. It's been a great race weekend for all of these young competitors. The GP 190 class out right now for riders between the ages of 11 and 14. A lot of prizes on the table from all of the partners. Dunlop will be handing out one of the guitars that the MotoAmerica class champions get at the end of the season as well. That's a great prize.
The Tom Duma pendant also, that's really cool.
Consideration for the top 3 being given by Dunlop for Team Elite for next season in 2026. This will be an 8-lap race. Remember, the races run yesterday. Those were 10 laps, but being shortened down today. Got to make quick work of it. A lot of pressure, a lot on the line. Ready to go for the final race. We are underway. It's another great start for Matti Salem from the pole position.
Not a good start for Connor Raymond, though. He's going to fall outside the top 5 as they come out of turn 1. Not the start that he needed, only up by 1 point. Matti's got nothing to lose this race. He has to go out and win. He's got to, and still need a little bit of luck to fall on his side. So the pressure's off for him. He just needs to go out and win. Kinsey, though, is in a tough spot. Wants to win the race, but can't afford to crash out.
With only 1 point separating himself from Connor Raymond.
Seth Kemnitz with a great start as well, right there with the top 2 riders.
See this opening lap of 8. Everyone is settling into position, but with 2 laps being taken off the table, we have a rider going down.
4th place rider.
4th place. Gabriel Datis was back there in 4th the last time by. We'll see if that's who it was. I believe it was, but you can see these front 3 now with a pretty big gap between the rest of the field. And you said it, Matti Salem, he has nothing to lose. He's 12 points back, and for him, he just wants another race win. Here's another look at that.
Just the rear end stepped out and came around. It might be Connor Raymond, actually, by looking at the timing and scoring.
I think you're right. He's the rider that wasn't able to come back by, and so for Connor, he was only 1 point back in the championship standings after a really strong weekend for him. He won the 2nd race yesterday. He finished 3rd in race number 1, but look at this little battle up front.
And these 2 are going to look over and see who it is on the side of the track and know what that's going to do for the points. 2 riders down there, actually.
Kinsey wanting not just the championship, he wants to go out in style. He wants to do it with a race, another race win under his belt as well.
Seen what happened yesterday when these 2 were out battling out front, got into each other and went down. Definitely like to race each other hard, and I like to see it.
These 2 competitors have been racing together for the last several seasons. Both of them 14 years old. Both of them eligible to race in the North American Talent Cup. That's another one of the prizes on the table. You win your championship here this weekend and you're age eligible, your entry fee taken care of for next season. It's a great little prize added.
Just seeing Connor Raymond coming down pit lane, so he's definitely out of this race. Championship hopes are down. What a great ride by Seth there in 3rd place. I mean, he's sitting there going with the 2 leaders.
Seth Kemnitz, another one of those riders in the same boat as Matti Salem, having not collected any points in the 3rd race today. It's nothing to lose. Here are the points as they stand right now. And for Connor Raymond, he'll be so disappointed ending the weekend off this way. He was in contention for the championship with Kinsey sitting in 2nd right now. He has a 24-point advantage there at the front of the field. Great to see this battle, Roger. Remember when we talked to him after that race win in race number 3, one of the things he said was you need to stay patient, and
Seth was riding so well. You hate to see that.
He was really pushing himself. Able to get back on the bike, picked it back up.
Oh, careful in the grass.
Here's another look at it.
Yeah, this is one of those spots that's tricky. Got a little bit of camber, gets on the throttle. These 190s got a lot of torque coming out of these corners. The rear end came around, and he did a good job picking himself back up and getting back in this race.
See if he can put his head down now and just focus his attention on the next 4 laps in front of him. Mati Salem leading over Kinsey. These two now with no pressure behind.
What does Kinsey do, Jamie, you think? Now he has the points lead. He's got it in the bag. Does he think about the title, or does he want to go out and win this one-on-one battle with Mati?
It's tough, right, Roger? They're 14 years old, but Kinsey has a great head on his shoulders, and he knew earlier that if he even said it, if I needed to settle for second place, to think big picture, I was going to settle for second place. I don't think he's going to push this battle with Mati too hard, knowing that there's no pressure behind him, knowing that Connor had his problems. He knew what the points implications were. So I don't think he's going to be any more aggressive than he needs to be, but obviously he saw an opportunity there to get around Mati, and he took it.
It's a great race between these two. Again, look at Mati going to try to look up the inside and turn 1 on the brakes. Kinsey does a great job releasing the brakes, but Mati's going to be able to take the spot. Kinsey was careful there. You could tell he was looking up the inside.
He's careful. He's racing smart. He's staying patient. He wants the #1 plate. He wants the prize package that comes along with it. He's worked hard this weekend, and that whole team has really had to rally together to keep that bike underneath them, and he wants to reward all of those efforts. So a yellow flag in this corner, so a rider
on track with the bike.
Down.
Can't see the number.
Couldn't see it as they came past, but second official was running over to get that bike out of the way. The battle up front continuing. You can see Kinsey there looking around a little bit, looking to see where everybody else was. Is Mati right in front of him.
This last lap coming up this hill, Kinsey got a terrific run out of this right-hander. And look, here he is. He set that up the lap before, almost made that pass. Oh!
In contact for these front 2 riders.
Here we go.
Both of them back on the bike. They had a gap between themselves and the rest of the field, so both of them able to get back on board. See if there's any damage to either one of them that's going to slow them down here for these closing laps. But for Kinsey, he was able to get right in front of Mati.
Pretty wild. They both crash and pick up the bike, and they're still right beside each other.
And the only thing difference now is how much closer third place is. All right, we have a replay, another look at this from our overhead drone.
Yeah, Kinsey just slides out there, and Mati had nowhere to go, just a total racing thing. You can see both those riders trying to hurry up, and they know what's on the line to get back in this race.
It's the experience of these 2 riders over the last couple of seasons, knowing what's on the line. Mati, of course, wanting just a strong result. Kinsey wanting that #1 plate, not wanting to throw away those 25 points that are on the table. I believe it was Andrew Berner that had the issue a couple laps ago. Just saw him come by.
Look at Kinsey keeping it tight up here, not going to leave the door open, but Mati might be able to cut under him and get the drive.
Gives a look over his shoulder.
Only one more spot from here, Jamie. Look at Mati, great drive through there. Put himself up on the inside. Mati releases the brake. Actually, Kinsey does, and able to maintain the lead.
Coming to the line, checkered flag is waving. Kinsey with another race win over Mati Salem.
That was a great race by both those two young riders.
Showing their experience, able to pick the bikes up, focus forward, finish this race, collect maximum points, and collect a #1 plate for the number 74.
It's good, clean, hard racing. Both of them had their mistakes and crashed together and got back up and continued the battle. That was fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch those two as they continue through their career that's just getting started.
Monty Salem having found the top honors last season, but we talked about it earlier today, not able to finish race number 3 and wasn't in the contention for the championship points again this year, but showing that he certainly has the pace, he has the drive, he has the determination, and all of the talent to carry his career forward.
We asked during that race if Kinsey was going to take it easy and think about the championship, but he brought the fight.
You did say a couple of times he wasn't pushing it. He was
gave the inside
giving some room.
Look how close the finish is.
Taking it all the way down to the stripe. Great ride for both of those young competitors. And the first championship locked up here for this weekend. Less than 800ths of a second separating the two of them after that 8-lap battle. Seth Kimnitz able to finish in 3rd, Gabriel Datis in 4th.
Top 3 in that race crashed. Got back up and still.
They were able to pick the bikes up and keep moving forward. You can see the riders now making their way off of the racetrack, down through pit lane. Some congratulations being handed out. Great weekend of riding here in the GP 190. Another look at the finish. Wasn't a perfect race for Kinsey, but it was a perfect result right there at the end when he needed it the most. So look at the championship standings now after all 4 races have been run. 93 points accumulated for Kinsey. Now with the #1 plate taken to the rest of his racing season, 26 points ahead of 2nd place of Connor Raymond. Not able to finish the race today with the problem early on. So some lessons for him being learned the hard way. You see all 14 of the competitors able to put some points up there through the 4 races. What are your takeaways from this class, Roger?
Just the battle at the front between Kinsey and Marty, just the way they're able to go back and forth and push each other. That's what both those two riders need. They need somebody, and you can tell already they're starting to get a little bit of a rivalry. They race each other pretty hard, but clean.
Now have Kinsey with the headset on and a 2nd race win of the day. You were able to execute right when you needed to, but when you went down, what was going through your mind?
Honestly, I wasn't too worried to let Marty by. For sure, I wanted to win, but just I was looking at the points, and even if he won, I would still win the whole thing. So I wasn't too worried. I was just focused on getting it back up and running again.
Was that your plan going into the race, not to get in a big battle and just make sure you won the title?
Yeah, so my plan was to just stay in 2nd. I thought Marty would gap me a little bit, maybe make a mistake, and if a battle came to it, then for sure I'd fight for the win. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really plan for the battle, but I just wanted to stay safe, finish the race, and bring it home.
You're able to bring it home all the way to collect a #1 plate here in the GP 190 class. What are your goals now as you look ahead to the rest of your racing career?
Well, this is my last year with the 190s, so hopefully next year I can do European Talent Cup as I am this year, and then hopefully Asia Talent Cup as well, a Red Bull Rookies Cup. But yeah.
What have you taken this year? You did a lot of different classes. You've been in a lot of different series. What's the biggest thing that you've learned going back and forth between bikes and countries?
I think the biggest thing is just Rubbings racing. Yeah. In Spain, everybody's super ruthless, you know, just hitting each other every lap, you know, and it's good racing, you know, so I think I just want to bring that here, show everybody else, and yeah.
Congratulations on your second race win of the day, but bigger than that, congratulations on earning that #1 plate here in the GP 190 class. We'll hear from you a little bit later on, and we'll watch as the celebrations happen this afternoon. Now you get to go celebrate.
Thank you. Oh, and also one thing.
Yes.
My buddy Zal, he came over and said the feeling's unspeakable. I just wanted to explain that. That I said I felt unspeakable like 5 years ago when I won my first 160 MotoAmerica race. And I couldn't find the word speechless, so I said unspeakable, and now it's just an inside joke. So.
Well, that makes perfect sense, of course, as he was able to take home some victories here this weekend as well. So it's great to have a lot of fans of the sport, young kids that remember things like that. So now you have the words, and now you have a lot more victories under your belt as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You can see some action outside of the window here. So families making their way out towards the racetrack, Roger, getting ready for our next class, our next final race of the weekend.